Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So, have you ever caught yourself thinking that hitting 65 basically means life is just winding down? You know, the classic beginning of the end mindset? Well, we really need to bust that myth right now because it is massively off base. In reality, you've barely passed the halfway mark. Your body is still absolutely primed to repair, rebuild, and thrive. The real issue isn't that our bodies suddenly forget how to function. It's actually that our daily habits are unknowingly telling our bodies to just stop trying.
And to really prove this, we're looking at a truly mind-blowing study out of Harvard University. Researchers tracked over 44,000 adults over the age of 60 for 2 full decades. And what they found is pretty incredible. They discovered that practicing just 6 simple morning habits allowed people to live up to 30 years longer. And we are talking about vibrant, high-quality years here, folks. We're talking sharper memory, stronger legs, and way fewer signs of aging, all without relying on a handful of daily pills or, expensive, fancy treatments. So it all basically comes down to one vital question. How are you spending your first 60 minutes awake? The truth is, your body wakes up every single morning just waiting for instructions. That first hour actively decides whether your cells are going to spend the rest of the day repairing themselves or breaking down. We're going to count down these essential habits today, and definitely stick around because the final habit we cover actually alters your DNA. No joke.
Okay, let's jump right into section 1, hydrate and illuminate. Think about what happens to your body overnight. It's a pretty intense contrast. While you sleep, you actually lose about 2 pounds of water just through breathing and sweating. That means when you wake up, you are dangerously dehydrated. Your blood is literally thicker and stickier than maple syrup, which forces your poor heart to work 23% harder just to pump it around. But if you immediately flush your system with 16 ounces of room temperature water, your blood thins out in mere minutes, and that cardiovascular strain drops instantly.
And the results of this one single action are just staggering. Hydrating first thing results in 41% fewer heart attacks and a massive drop in stroke risk. Think of Martha. She's a woman who woke up dealing with daily vertigo. Her doctor actually explained that her blood was so thick it couldn't properly reach her brain. But after just 3 weeks of adopting this morning hydration habit, her vertigo vanished completely.
Right after you hydrate, you gotta find the light. Getting just 10 minutes of direct natural sunlight on your face immediately signals this tiny part of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This is basically your brain's master clock. It controls every single hormone release in your body for the next 24 hours. Catching that early morning light causes an immediate 50% drop in your sleep-inducing melatonin and a 35% spike in the exact cortisol you naturally need to wake up and feel alert. And the long-term impact of prioritizing that sunlight? It's brilliant. We see 43% better sleep quality, 38% less depression, and a massive 58% lower dementia risk compared to folks who just stay inside in dim lighting. Natural light literally resets your biological age. Take Robert, for example. He completely cured his chronic afternoon fatigue simply by opening his bedroom curtains first thing in the morning, rather than leaving them closed until noon.
Moving right along to section 2, fuel and fortify.
This brings us to a biological process called muscle protein synthesis. This is the incredible mechanism where your body builds and repairs tissue. And get this, your system is most primed for it right in the morning. By eating 30 grams of complete protein early on, you trigger the synthesis. If you don't, your body literally starts eating its own muscle tissue from the inside out just to get the amino acids it needs to function. Yikes.
Consider this slightly terrifying reality. After age 60, losing just 3% of your muscle mass yearly leads to a 400% higher risk of fatal falls. It's a huge danger, but the good news is it's entirely preventable. There's a woman named Sarah who absolutely stunned her doctor when her bone density significantly improved simply by eating 3 whole eggs every morning. That morning protein doesn't just build your muscles, it literally strengthens the very bone matrix that protects you from fractures. But that physical fortification doesn't end with protein. To truly protect yourself, you need to spend exactly 60 seconds doing single leg balance work. Standing on one leg for just 30 seconds per side reduces your risk of fatal falls by a staggering 86%. But here's the twist. It's not just about your legs, it is heavily about your brain. The Mayo Clinic found that skipping balance work actually leads to deteriorating neural pathways.
But daily balance work, it literally grows new gray matter in the hippocampus and cerebellum. Those are the exact brain regions that typically shrink as we age. A gentleman named Tom thought his wobbliness was just inevitable old age, right? But after 6 weeks of morning balance work, he regained complete stability on uneven ground. His brain had actually rewired itself to keep him upright. All right, on to section 3, the real game changer, the anti-aging breath.
So, this is a Nobel Prize-winning breathing technique known as the 4-7-8 method. The steps are beautifully simple. You inhale for 4 counts, you hold that breath for 7 counts, and then you exhale slowly for 8 counts. Doing just 10 rounds of this literally flips your vagus nerve. It pulls your body completely out of that sympathetic fight or flight stress mode and drops it securely into a parasympathetic rest and repair mode. The absolutely crucial point here is what happens right during that 7-second oxygen hold. That specific hold forces oxygen deep into your lungs and increases the activity of an enzyme that rebuilds your telomeres by 43%. Telomeres are those protective caps on your chromosomes that literally dictate your biological age and your lifespan. So by doing this simple breathing exercise, you are effectively extending your life at the cellular level. And the physiological benefits of this 3-minute practice are massive. It drops your blood pressure by an average of 10 points. It cuts your aging hormone, cortisol, by 50%. It boosts your heart rate variability by 85% and flushes your bloodstream with 40% more oxygen. Margaret, a viewer of ours, started this morning breathing routine, and it dropped her blood pressure so significantly that her cardiologist was able to take her off her medication entirely. How cool is that? Okay, finally, section 4, your new morning blueprint. Let's bring all this groundbreaking science together into the ultimate chronological blueprint for the first 90 minutes of your day. Minute 0, right when your eyes open, do your 4-7-8 breathing. Minute 5, drink your 16 ounces of room temperature water. Minute 15, get your sunlight and do your 60 seconds of balance work. And finally, by minute 60, consume your 30 grams of protein. When we map this all out, every single habit pairs an immediate biological action with a massive anti-aging result. The water thins your blood, right? Leading to 41% fewer heart attacks. The sunlight synchronizes your hormones. The protein rebuilds your muscle. The balance rewires your brain. And the breathing alters your DNA expression. When you lock these specific actions together, you create a total biological transformation that can truly turn back your clock by decades. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. Picture yourself at 85. Will you be thriving, vibrant, and traveling the world, or merely surviving? Your future self is completely dependent on the choice you make when that alarm goes off tomorrow morning. You now have the blueprint. The rest is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.